One of the harbingers of the agile-pocalypse is judgment. And this normally comes in the form of prescriptive ways of doing things. This could be organizational prescriptive ways of doing things, but quite often it's these top-down totalitarian prescriptive frameworks that tell organizations exactly what to do, when to do it, what practices to use. And I understand why organizations and leaders love it. They don't necessarily know any different, right? They don't know what the impact is on the ground of a lot of these tools and things that people decide you're all going to do it this way. They don't understand the whole problem of you're all going to do it this way, right? That's fundamentally part of the problem is everybody doing the same thing at the same time is a factory, not a creative collaborative organization, right? So these prescriptive ideas, and whether those prescriptive ideas could be Scrum. I've worked with organizations where Scrum ends up in the contract. Thou shalt do Scrum. Or it ends up as an organizational mandate. Everybody's doing Scrum because they've been told to do Scrum. That's stupid. Scrum might not be the right thing for every team. It might not be the right thing for every group in your organization. Agility is not about Scrum. Business agility is about figuring out how you can effectively deliver the highest possible value to your customers. That's what it's about. Everything else is the bullshit you use to try and make that happen. Okay? So one of those tools in your toolbox might be Scrum. Another one might be Kanban. Another one might be Scrum and Kanban. There are all sorts of tools that you can have in your toolbox that your teams can choose to use. Don't prescribe stories or story points. Don't prescribe planning poker. Those things are great once or twice, maybe for a little bit, but they're not the long-term solution to your problem. The long-term solution to your problem is not in rules. It's not in prescription. Rules beget judgment, right? People are going to judge you for breaking the rules or not following the rules, and thou shalt follow. Here's the commandments you must follow in our organization. Thou shalt do Scrum, right? Don't covet your neighbor's agility, right? Your other organization's agility. Don't do those things because you will be judged, right? What we need instead of judgment is we need principles. What are the principles upon which you would like people in your organization to make decisions, right? So you create a set of principles for your organization, for your ways of working. Be very careful that they don't just become rules in disguise, right? You should have very few principles in your organization. This is how we're going to do business. Everybody should be honest, right? We want honesty in what we do. We want courage in what we do. We want openness and transparency in what it is that we do. These are principles that can help us make better decisions. Every single person in your organization is then an effective decision maker. They understand, they have the access to the data, they have access to the information they need in order to make those decisions. A great example of access to data is I was talking to some product owners from a car company. And I asked them, so how do you get access to the telemetry that's collected from the cars? You know, not all cars have live telemetry, right? They might have, when you go in to take your car in for service, they plug in and download the telemetry, right? So it's dumped into the system. But how do product owners and things get access to that telemetry? Well, at their organization, it took 6 to 8 months to get access to the telemetry for whatever request they made, because of all the rules and procedures they had to follow in order to get there. Oh, but they did tell me a story about what happens in Tesla when a product owner wants access to the telemetry. Tick, 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 data, right? That's all it takes. They just have full access, open, transparent within the organization for all of the product owners, have access to all of the data, and they can go slice and dice it however they like in order to help them understand what's going on, what trends are happening, what faults are happening, what do we need to focus on in order to make better decisions, right? But rules and procedures get in the way of people doing the work. Rules and procedures were great in the old school of organizations. Traditional management organizations, you had a largely uneducated workforce. This is turn of the century industrial revolution thinking, right? You've got a largely uneducated workforce. They are not educationally, intellectually capable of making decisions about the future of your business. Therefore, we want to push all of those decisions up the organization, and here's the leadership cadre, the bosses who make all of the decisions, and the people on the ground just do what they're told. So we're going to plan their work, we're going to separate them into ability-based groups, and we're going to tell them and we're gonna have train them only in those particular abilities that they're going to do, right? That's how we've ended up with marketing departments and sales departments and legal departments and engineering departments and testing departments and whatever other bollocks you've got in your organization, right? They're slow down the ability for you to do business. In the old days, it was great, right? Because you had this group of people, you could train them in that one thing, they just do that one thing, and our product goes through those gates, right? And those things happen, or it's designed, and then the analysis happens, and then it's coded, and then it's tested, and then it's deployed, right? It goes through that process. But today, we don't have the luxury of that amount of time. The markets move much faster, and those procedures that were designed to enshrine the business processes that we need in order to continue to move forward with a largely uneducated workforce are now getting in the way because you have a hugely educated, massively smart, engaged workforce, and they're looking at your rules and procedures and going, "Whoa, why do I have to do it that way? That's getting in the way of me delivering value for my company. That's getting in the way of me taking advantage of a business opportunity that's floating by." Right? They can't take advantage of it. What happens to you when you're extremely frustrated with an activity? Do you continue to like that activity, or does it really annoy you and maybe you want to leave that activity? That's why your best, smartest people leave, because they don't like working in those environments. You need to move towards principles based on the three key motivators of people: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Autonomy, right? People need to feel like they're in control of their own work, that they're making decisions for the betterment of the organization and are able to support and engage in the organization in order for them to engage with your company. For that, you need principles, not rules and judgment. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please like, follow, and subscribe. I always reply to comments, and if you want to have a chat about this or anything else Agile, Scrum, or DevOps, then please book a coffee with me through Naked Agility.